Imagine the horror in my mind when just weeks after my wedding, I found myself standing in a hospital where my mother-in-law was gasping for breath, and her situation was particularly critical. And the reason for all of it was me, the newest addition to the family, or that is what everyone thought. I know that this is far from the truth, but amongst the panic of the situation, no one is ready to listen to me, and it seems like everything is at stake, including my marriage and the dreams for a happily ever after. I know this all seems a little out of place and very confusing, so let me start it from the very beginning and tell you guys how I ended up in such a dreadful situation. A little introduction might be good. Hi, I am Olivia, an average 29-year-old with a good life, though it doesn't seem so after last night's incidents. So, as I just mentioned, I got married to the love of my life, Logan, M30, a month back, and it was everything I could have ever wished for. Logan is one of the sweetest guys I have ever met, and I knew I hit the jackpot when his family was as caring and as sweet as him. I first met Logan's family 2 months back. Honestly, I was pretty worried. After reading people's disastrous tales of how their first meeting with their in-laws went, I was scared out of my mind that Logan's family wouldn't like me and then I'd be stuck living with a bunch of people who couldn't see me happy since Logan wanted to stay in the same house as his parents to take better care of things. But then the meeting went totally the opposite of what I was expecting it to be. Logan's parents were really sweet people who made me feel welcome and at home within no time, and just like that, I saw all my fears subside and my heart filled with gratitude and warmth for these great people around me. But obviously I spoke too soon and the whole situation turned out to be too good to be true. I still mean that Logan's parents are amazing people, and this is not some story where the in-laws acted all sweet in the beginning and then turned out to be evil. No, that's not the problem here. The problem lies with Melissa, F26, my SEL and Logan's stepsister to be exact. Yeah, Logan's family dynamics were not as simple as it seemed. His family included his mother, Kate, F52, his stepdad, Ronald, M51, and his stepsister, Melissa. I know it seems a little off and complicated, but the family seemed to be completely all right and happy until the moment Melissa entered the picture. Right from the moment I first met Melissa, her problematic behavior was clear to me. Rest everyone in Logan's family was genuine. Even the bond between him and Ronald didn't feel forced, and they shared a love that seemed to go beyond blood relations. But the same couldn't be said for the bond between Kate and Melissa. Though I could see Kate's clear attempts at treating Melissa well and like her own daughter, there was this weird vibe that Melissa was giving to Kate, though she made sure to coat it all with her fake love and concern for her. But it was too clearly visible to let go. Still, I didn't think much of it, and I just took this meeting as a warning to be wary of Melissa in the future, cause I knew right from the start that she could create some troubles for me and the whole family. And this is exactly what she did when a month later me and Logan got married and I shifted to their house. Everything was going perfectly fine until Melissa made a whole scene about the wedding gift that Kate and Ronald had given to me and Logan. So there was this family farmhouse which originally belonged to Melissa's mother, and after her death, it belonged to Ronald. But before our wedding, Kate convinced Ronald to give that farmhouse to me and Logan as our wedding gift, since that would be the best gift they could give us, and Ronald agreed. So that is what happened. Not so problematic, right? I mean, it was Kate and Ronald's decision, and they did what they felt like, but to Melissa, this was the betrayal of her trust and her mother's love. She felt like she had some unspoken claim over that farmhouse and lost her shit shouting at Kate and Ronald about how they could give the house to us. She even shouted at me about how I had just arrived and I had started causing fights between them. At that moment, it was clear to me that not only was Melissa an entitled brat, but she was also pretty jealous of me since she could not bear the attention I was getting from everyone after my wedding. There was this whole chaotic scene with Melissa shouting at our house, but soon Ronald was able to calm her down, and within days, everything felt back to normal again until last night. So it was Kate's birthday last night, and I wanted to do something for her since I wouldn't have had a better opportunity to show her how grateful I was for her kindness towards me. This is why I planned a party and thought of doing everything, including the decorations and the cooking, by myself. It was supposed to be just a small gathering with just the family and a few close friends, but as you can tell, things went horribly wrong. I had been busy the past week making sure that the whole birthday party went great, and I had been working hard at it. The decorations were all done, and this is why I spent the majority of yesterday doing all the cooking, including the birthday cake. It was then that Melissa volunteered to help me. As surprising and suspicious as this help was, I welcomed it since I was honestly very tired and could actually do it with some help. Melissa helped me bake the cake and told me to add the special ingredient that Kate loved a lot. I was confused, and that's when Melissa told me to crush the nuts into a powder and add it to the cake mix. I was actually shocked that Melissa wanted to help me, but I was still happy since I did not know Kate's likes and dislikes as much as she did, so the help was actually welcome. And that is why I followed Kate's instructions to the point while making the cake, and that is where it all went wrong. So everything was set for the party yesterday night, and Kate was actually pretty happy with the decorations and the arrangements I had made, but when the turn for the cake came, it turned into a complete disaster. As soon as Kate took a large bite of the cake, everything I worked for went down the drain. Because within minutes of Kate eating the cake, she started to get breathless and her face started to swell. It seemed like her whole body was turning blue. I was panicking. And so were the other family members who rushed to help Kate stay steady on her feet. I didn't know what was happening, and I stood there stunned as Logan called the ambulance, and it arrived after a few minutes. As Kate was being rushed to the hospital, Logan and Ronald kept shouting and asking me whether I added nuts to the cake. I could say nothing else but just nod, and before I could give any further explanation, the cursing and shouts started. Here's the thing that I was yet unaware of. Kate had a severe nut allergy, and even the slightest quantity of it could trigger anaphylaxis, a severe allergic reaction in her body. And this is exactly what happened. The condition was so bad that she was still in a life-threatening situation, and what made everything worse for me was the reaction from my father-in-law. He refused to let me go anywhere near Kate and told me to start packing my bags because he couldn't allow someone who risked Kate's life anywhere near the family. I tried to plead with him and even with my husband, but even Logan, worried sick about his mother, refused to let me explain anything and told me it'd be better if I left. And this is how I found myself here sitting outside the hospital on a cold bench, not sure what to do. I have been here since last night waiting for any news about Kate, but there's no development. Her condition is somewhat stable now, but her life is still at risk, and this is what worries me the most. I just can't comprehend what just happened here. I mean, 1 second I was happy enjoying my time with my new family, and now the next second it seemed like they had forsaken me. This is why I just had to get it all out of my head, because if I kept it in one more second, my head might just burst. The most disturbing part about all this is how Melissa has been acting about all this. She was right there outside the emergency room when Ronald was shouting at me and he told me to get out of there. I don't know why she never spoke up. I tried to get her to say something, but she was very quiet, silently sobbing in the corner. I don't know why she's doing this. I mean, she knew I added nuts to the cake. She was the one who told me to. But I did not say anything at that point because it's not right for all this blaming. Right now, the main focus is Kate's speedy recovery, and that is why I don't want to create any fuss in the family until Kate is out of danger. But this whole thing is just eating me alive. I just want to be by my family's side during this tough time, but right now that seems impossible. I don't know what to do now, and I can't help but feel guilty because I am the reason why Kate is in such a condition right now. But then I also feel stupid. Because this was all because of Melissa. What should I do, guys? I mean, I just want to fix things. How can I do that if they won't even allow me anywhere near them? Should I just go and confront Melissa right now? Or should I wait for some time? I don't know what to do. I am so damn confused. I just hope Kate gets all right soon. Please pray for her, guys. Anyway, I'll keep updating you guys on her health. Comments. 1. I am so sorry you're going through all this, OP. It sounds like an incredibly tough situation, and I hope Kate recovers quickly. It's clear from your story that you were doing everything you could to make the birthday special, but it seems like your SIL was set on ruining it. I don't know how people can stoop to such levels and for what, but I think it's really important to focus on Kate's recovery right now. But you really need to talk to your family about what actually happened once she's doing okay. I mean, they deserve to know the truth, don't they? Just stay strong, OP. 2. This is a messy situation, OP, but it seems like there were a lot of red flags you missed with Melissa. She clearly had an issue with you from the start, and it's disturbing that you let her help with something as crucial as the cake without double-checking. I mean, now you're trying to act the victim and put all the blame on her, but don't you think it's actually you who is at fault here for allowing her to sabotage this whole thing? Update 1. Hey guys, it's Olivia again. So it's been more than a week since my initial post, and I actually have good news to start this update. Yes, you guessed it right, Kate is finally out of danger. It has been 5 days since her vitals finally stabilized, and she has been slowly recovering. Before I get into the messy part of things, I just want to thank you guys for all your good wishes for Kate's speedy recovery. I feel grateful to be a part of such a kind community. There were also a lot of people who were pretty pissed off by what I did and who believed it all to be my mistake. Though I usually don't pay much heed to haters. This time I have got to say that I do agree with some of you. Like, I do get my fault in this entire thing, but you guys need to understand that I wasn't playing the victim card, and I just genuinely wanted advice as to what to do next. Also, I never refused to take responsibility for my mistake. I know I messed up, but I just wanted to get some suggestions on how I might fix it all. And now, since I mentioned it, let me tell you how my attempt at fixing it went. So, a lot of you suggested that I should wait for Kate's condition to be stable before I talk to my family members about what happened. A lot of you also thought that it was pretty important for me to confront Melissa once things were a bit better. So this is what I exactly did. Once Kate's condition was finally stable, I decided that I needed to talk to my husband and Ronald, but it turned out to be more difficult than I thought. Ronald was not ready to talk to me, and he had even told Logan not to be in touch with me as long as Kate was in the hospital, since they didn't know why I did what I did. It was crazy, and it didn't make sense, but I don't blame the two of them. They did what they had to do to ensure Kate's safety. As for them, I was the one who intentionally poisoned Kate. Even my husband was not on my side. Though he did not believe his father's claims of me poisoning Kate, he still told me that he still had to be by his father's side because Kate needed him. It was like I still had my husband's support, but in a way, he was not on my side. And you can definitely think of one person who was totally against me in all of this, and that was Melissa. Obviously, she would be like this. After all, she's the one who did the whole thing. But amongst all this chaos, there was only one person on my side who actually believed me to be innocent, and this whole thing was a genuine mistake. It was Kate, and it actually gave me so much relief knowing that Kate didn't think that I would intentionally harm her. It was Kate who argued with Ronald to let me visit her in the hospital room she was shifted to, and it was she who did not let Ronald kick me out of the house, and told him that I should be given a fair chance to prove that what I did was just a mistake. But obviously, Kate's support of me did not mean anything to Ronald, and his denial meant Logan was also not going to go against him. This is why when yesterday I talked to the whole family about what actually happened, no one believed me. Only Logan told me that he wanted to believe me, but I had no proof of it, and he even questioned why Melissa would do it. Even Kate, who was blindly trusting me until now, refused to believe that her stepdaughter would do something like this intentionally, since Melissa knew all about her nut allergy. And you can guess what happened when I confronted Melissa in front of everyone. The damn witch freaking flipped in a second, talking about how she even warned me of Kate's nut allergy prior, and yet it seemed that I didn't listen to her. So just like that, I was back to square one, trying to get my family's support in this whole fiasco. But this incident clarified one thing for me. Melissa intentionally wanted to harm Kate, and she wanted me to be punished for it. Like, I get why she'd want to get everyone against me, since she didn't like me much. But why Kate? I mean, Kate has been nothing but a great mother to her all this time. Why would she go to such extreme limits to harm her to the extent that it could have cost her life? I mean, what is Melissa playing at? And most importantly, would she try again? I am honestly pretty curious and scared right now, and I want to try and find an answer to all these questions before Kate gets home in a few days. So, I'd just say, wish me luck, guys. Update 2. Hey guys, it's me again, and this time I have some crazy disturbing news. I mean, I still can't believe the things I got to know in the past few days since my last update. As I mentioned in my last update, it did not take me much longer to realize that Melissa intentionally wanted to hurt Kate, and that's what she did using me. And after realizing this, I had a lot of questions in my mind, which I finally had the answers to. So guess what, guys? Melissa is such an evil witch that all of this was her plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I guess I am getting a bit ahead of me, so let me pick it up from where I left it. I was trying to figure out Melissa's reasoning for doing what she did. And believe me, it was not an easy task, since I was all on my own with mostly the whole family against me. I mean, I talked to Logan about it, and though he wanted to support me, he just told me that he'd be no part of accusing his sister of something so serious. I honestly can't blame him or Ronald or Kate for not believing me against Melissa. I mean, their familial bonds seem to be so strong, and with my marriage still fresh, they might still see me as an outsider. And this is why I knew I had to work hard to prove myself. But that did not come easy. Days passed, and I still did not have any idea how to actually find out Melissa's truth. But then something happened that just pushed me in the right direction. It was nothing major or even anything out of place. It was just as simple an incident as me finding Melissa, talking to her boyfriend, Sam, M24, on call. Sam was a pretty shy man and was 2 years younger than Melissa. The fact is that none of this was out of the ordinary, but the good thing this incident did is that it made me realize how close Melissa and Sam were, and if there was anyone Melissa might have talked to about her plan, it was Sam. So I tried to catch Sam and talk to him while he was leaving our house the other day, but the way he refused to talk to me and he just panicked and left all of a sudden just made me more sure about how Sam might know a lot more than what I thought. But after trying to catch him and him running away from me, I knew I couldn't just straight go to him and talk to him about it, because he would never rat out Melissa like that. So I had to come up with a stronger idea to confront him, and that's exactly what I did. So here's a fact. My dad is a criminal lawyer, and I used this fact to my advantage during the past few days. When I knew I couldn't tackle this problem alone, I reached out to my dad and explained the whole situation to him, along with the point of how we now needed to talk to Sam to get any sort of proof against Melissa. And my dad actually did a brilliant job at that. So we actually went to Sam and we started off with a lie. Like neither me nor Dad knew whether Sam was involved in the poisoning, but we acted like we were sure of it. And we were going to report him for it, and he would be arrested within no time. My dad threatened him more by citing a few laws and the dire consequences of him helping Melissa and all this. And like a fish in the sea, Sam took the bait and started crying. He already knew what Melissa did could have actually killed Kate, and if we were to report them both, he'd be seen as an accomplice and would be punished as well. And this is the reason why he cried and pleaded with us not to report him to the police, as he'd do anything for us. And that's when we asked him what we were there for. And him, although initially scared of betraying Melissa, chose his own freedom over his love for her and spilled every single secret he knew about Melissa. And what he told us was crazy and beyond our wildest dreams. So Sam told us how Melissa had hated Kate since the day she got married to Ronald because she hated how some other woman could take her mother's spot in her life. He told us how even in the past, Melissa had tried various plans to get Kate out of the house and out of Ronald's life, but she was never successful. And then I came to the house. And Melissa hated me even more than she hated Kate, so she just wanted both of us gone, and this is why she came up with this plan to get rid of both of us. And you know the more disturbing part? Melissa even had a fake will ready, which would transfer the deed of the farmhouse and a lot of other assets into Melissa's name. It was honestly sickening to know all this. But here is the one part. Sam also had a copy of this fake will, because Melissa shared every plan and the backup for it with Sam. So now that I had this whole truckload of evidence and even Melissa's own man who would rat her like a parakeet, all I have to do now is to wait for Kate to get home all hale and hearty, and then I'd start with the whole revelation plan. I guess things are about to get crazy. Update 3. Guys, it's been a week since my last update. I know a lot of you were curious about my revelation plan and wanted to know how things went. Sorry to have kept you waiting, but I was just waiting for Kate to come back home and settle down well, since I don't want this to affect her health anyhow. But needless to worry, 'cause I have finally exposed Melissa. I mean, it's been such a long time since I felt this relief, but honestly, if you ask me, the best part is finally gaining my family's trust again. This whole thing had been killing me from inside all this time. Also, for the people who were inquiring about Kate's health. She's doing much better now and has mostly recovered, just a few more days of rest, and her health will be back to normal. Now, let's finally get to the thing most of you are here for. Let me start right from the start of how the revelation plan went. So I called for a family meeting yesterday to talk about the whole birthday fiasco thing. Everyone was still pretty pissed, so they all just wanted to be done with it. Especially Melissa, oblivious of the trump card I held against her, just asked me whether I wanted to accuse her again to save myself. Well, she had just given me the perfect start. I told everyone that it was exactly what I called them here for. All of them seemed displeased since we already had a conversation about them. Yet I continued with how it was Melissa who asked me to put the nuts in the cake. And I told them, this is not all Melissa had done to harm Kate. Everyone was confused, and I started recounting the evil things Melissa did to throw Kate out of the house. I told them everything from Melissa's tactics, to framing Kate for infidelity, to her attempts at actually getting rid of her to get some assets to her name. Everyone was shocked and looking at me with silence when Melissa just laughed and talked about how it was a great fabricated lie to get everyone against her, but I should save my breath and everyone's time and just stop. But I knew I had got Ronald's attention because as soon as I told them all this, Ronald asked me if I had any proof for the same. Melissa, still smug as ever, just laughed, but little did she know I still had the best trick up my sleeve, and that's when I called Sam in. Melissa was a bit shocked to see Sam there, but I guess she still believed that Sam would never rat her out. And I had specially instructed Sam to not let Melissa know about any of this plan, and that's exactly what he did. It's a funny thing how people would do anything you tell them to when you scare them with a long-term imprisonment. And that's when Sam came with the fake will in his hand. He was scared to see Melissa there, thinking of what she might do to him, yet in one swift minute, he ratted each and every plan out about how Melissa had been after Kate all this time. Melissa was still trying to deny it all, but the fake will in Sam's hand was telling a different story in itself. My family knew where the fault lay, and how Melissa had thought this whole thing out to get rid of me as well as Kate. And no sooner had the whole truth come out than Ronald slapped Melissa right in her face. All this time, poor Ronald was blinded by his daughter's love and the trust that he held for her, but now it was all shattered when the truth came to light. I honestly felt bad for my family. Like Kate and Logan had accepted Melissa as their own and never treated her like a stepdaughter or stepsister, while Melissa, driven by her crazy antics, ruined all of it. As soon as the truth was out, Sam just left the place and I didn't mind. His work there was done. While Ronald pulled Melissa by the hand and threw her out of the house. He didn't even let her in to take her stuff from the house and asked her to never show her face again as he was disowning her. Though yesterday was too dramatic, it has been rather peaceful since Melissa has been out of our lives. But I know she's not one to sit quietly, and some more drama must be on its way. I am honestly not looking forward to that. But that doesn't mean that I should not enjoy the peace while I can. Anyways, whatever happens, I'll keep you guys updated. Update 4. Hey guys, it's me again. I know it's been a month since my last update, but a lot has happened in this 1 month, and I thought I should let you guys know. This will most probably be my last update on the entire thing because the whole Melissa drama is finished for good. Now coming to the point of why I am here. As I suspected before, how Melissa couldn't sit quietly even after being disowned and kicked out of the house. I was right. Because just days after she was kicked out, Melissa started coming to the house daily, begging to take her back. It took her a few days to come back begging us because that smug little witch expected that her friends would help her once she was out of the house. But little did she know how I had told all her friends and anyone she might turn to help for all about her evil tactics and schemes she had been using against Kate. I had even warned them for their own safety. Now tell me who would like to help such a person by giving them a place at their house. But I guess this just meant more of Melissa for us because she kept showing up at our door day after day until Ronald bashed her about how he had spared her and done her a favor by not reporting her to the police just because she was his daughter. But if she didn't stop showing up at our place and creating scenes daily, he would not hesitate to call the police and would get her arrested himself. Well, that ought to do the trick, and since that day more than a week back, we have seen no sign of Melissa, and we honestly don't want it any other way. It's better if she stays as far away as possible from us. We have heard from people how she's been living in some shelter home, but soon those people would also kick her out since she can only stay there for a month or so. I don't know what she'll do about her living situation after that. Neither do I care. As for things at home, everyone is a little shaken by this whole incident, as anyone would be, but we are trying to get things back to normal. Kate is finally all recovered and back to her healthy self. As for my FIL and husband, they have apologized to me like 100 times for not believing me. I forgave them as it was hard not to, since they were only driven by their trust and love for Melissa. If anything, this whole thing only brought me closer to my in-laws, and I couldn't be happier about it. All's well that ends well, right? Also, I just want to thank you guys for all your support. Goodbye. Comments. 1. Damn, OP, you handled this situation like a pro. Like anyone would have given up within no time after being blamed by their own family, but you handled it so well. Kudos to you for staying so strong. I am so glad that Melissa finally got what she deserved. It would honestly have sucked if she would have been successful in getting you kicked out of the family cause she's the one who doesn't deserve this family or their love, while you deserve all of it. Sending you love. 2. I can't believe your family let her go so easily. Like you guys should have reported her to the police. She almost risked the life of your mill. And you're okay with not reporting her? That woman deserves to be behind bars. But no, you let her go. And now, who is to say that she won't do such a thing again to someone else? Come on, OP! You should have handled this situation more responsibly.